So hello, everyone, and welcome to these virtual energizing chats here in the virtual booth at the Vienna Energy Forum 2021. We are joined now by Nick Dunlop. He is Secretary General of the Climate Parliament. Nick, welcome to you. I'd like to begin by asking you about your opinion when we're looking at next steps, for example, the most relevant for making progress with the energy transition. What's your view?
Yes, well, thanks, Sarah, and it's nice to be joining the Vienna Energy Forum without having to visit an airport. I would say that when it comes to the energy transition, there's a lot of scarce resources, but the most scarce resource of all is political will. That's the key missing ingredient of the climate negotiations, is the key missing ingredient everywhere. The elected political leaders of the world are not yet quite ready to make the transition from fossil fuels to clean energy that we need to make in all parts of the world at the speed and scale required. The good things are happening in all parts of the world. Renewable energy is being expanded. People are looking at electrifying transport. New grid connections are being built. The problem is one of speed and scale. We have a very tight carbon budget, global carbon budget, that we have to stay within if we're going to avoid a real climate catastrophe. And the transition just isn't going nearly fast enough at present. So it boils down to political leadership. But beyond that, in terms of concrete steps, for us in the Climate Parliament, which is an international network of politicians who do care about climate change and are trying to accelerate the energy transition, we're very focused on accelerating the construction of the new infrastructure that we need for a world powered by clean energy. And that means regional grids that can connect everyone to the best locations for solar, wind, or hydropower. It means solar community mini grids, not least for villages in Africa or Asia that have no reliable grid connections still. And it means charging infrastructure for hundreds of millions of electric vehicles. We have to electrify the transport system real fast, and we have to power that system with clean energy. So at the heart of it is new green grids.
That's really interesting. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about the work that you're doing. It's really fascinating. And I'm wondering, in the context of that work and also observing the environment that is around you, if you might have a message to leave for the participants over the next couple of days in the Vienna Energy Forum. As we know, the motto here is where action meets ambition. What sort of action would you like to see?
Well, we're staying on the theme of green grids. We're organizing for the COP26 Climate Summit, which will take place in Glasgow this November, in less than 4 months now. What is being called a Green Grids Initiative, which will be launched by a group of presidents and prime ministers from around the world. It's been announced already by Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India and Prime Minister Johnson of Britain, who's the summit host, of course. They've announced that this will be launched with a joint declaration by national leaders, followed by collaboration on research, finance, and technical cooperation. We've been working with the UK COP presidency team to get this ready. There's already a working group of multilateral development banks and other international organizations, and we're setting up similar working groups of legislators, regulators, grid operators, researchers, and others. And the aim of the exercise is to really, getting back to my first point, political will, to really step up the level of political will, political commitment, political energy, to build that new grid infrastructure faster and bigger than we are doing so far. that means keeping the heads of government and ministers and members of parliament involved, and it means lots of collaboration at the expert level and involving civil society, who have to keep an eye on whether governments are keeping to their commitments that they make in Glasgow. And we're very keen to involve as many different actors in this as possible. It's going to be a broad exercise with lots of kind of decentralized regional initiatives. The African Development Bank is going to lead an Africa working group, for example, working with the African Union. So anyone at the Vienna Energy Forum who's interested is very welcome to get in touch with the Climate Parliament about it.
Thank you so much. Nick Dunlop joining us, Secretary General of the Climate Parliament, as we mentioned. And to those of you who have been watching this interview, I'd like to tell you that it's one of the many interviews that are being done with thought leaders in the energy sector here at the Vienna Energy Forum 2021. So do feel free to watch more of those interviews on demand. Nick, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you sharing the insight, and greetings to Brighton.
Thanks, Sarah.